Imagine waking up to find yourself in a life you never chose, surrounded by luxury and politics instead of danger and shadows. A woman, who was once a legendary assassin feared across the land, finds herself reincarnated into the body of a noblewoman in a world of courtly intrigue and familial expectations. Armed with her lethal skills and sharp intelligence, she must navigate a new life where every smile hides a potential threat and every alliance could be a deadly trap. As Yaoyu learns to adapt to her new role, she is drawn into a web of secrets and rivalries that test her at every turn. Her past, filled with betrayals and battles, seems to shadow her every step. But now she must use her skills not just for survival, but to protect those she begins to care about in this unfamiliar world. With danger lurking behind every corner and her own heart torn between old loyalties and new affections, Yaoyu faces the ultimate challenge, rewriting her fate in a high-stakes game where trust is scarce and betrayal is common. Join Yaoyu in My Assassin Consort, where every decision could be a matter of life or death, and discover if she can master her new life as deftly as she once mastered the art of assassination. A young lady is seen drowning in a pool of water. She feels awed, and she remembers that she was blown up by a bomb. She wonders how she is still alive, and she quickly swims to the surface of the water. A girl who has been searching for her sees her and looks happy that she is all right. She asks the girl who she is and what place she is in, and the girl says she is her maid Yuer. As she tries to make sense of her situation, a sharp pain shoots through her head, and she realizes that she is in the body of a girl whose name is Mo Yaoyu, the ninth daughter of General Mo. Yaoyu was bullied a lot for being slow and dumb. Her elder sister, Mo Ran, was jealous that Yaoyu got engaged to Prince Jing of Yaoming at the order of His Imperial Majesty, the Emperor, so she poisoned Yaoyu with the Soul Strangler. She then ordered someone to drag Yaoyu into the lotus pond so that people would assume that she accidentally fell into the pond and drowned. Now someone else was transported into her body, and she vows to seek revenge for Yaoyu. Mo Ran, the fourth daughter of General Mo, arrives at the pond, where she finds Yaoyu now inhabiting the body of Mo Yaoyu lying on the ground. The bystanders snicker and make fun of Yaoyu, and Ran's eyes narrow in anger. Seeing this as an opportunity for revenge, Yaoyu decides to take advantage of the situation. Yaoyu tells Ran that she found a jade pendant in the pond and thinks it's engraved with the character Yu, which catches Ran's attention. Ran believes it's Prince Zhang's lost pendant and asks Yaoyu to hand it over. As Ran moves closer to the pond to retrieve the pendant, Yaoyu sees her chance and drags Ran into the water. The maids nearby are shocked and begin shouting that Ran has fallen into the pond. Mo Lai, the second daughter of General Mo, rushes to the scene, begging Helianye, Prince Jing, and the second prince of Yaoming to save her sister. However, instead of rushing to help, Helianye pulls back and says they should take a look at the situation before intervening. Yaoyu tells Ran, who is drowning, to be more careful, but she is actually happy about her predicament. As Ran asks for help, Yaoyu dives under to help her, but Prince Jing grabs her and drags her to the surface. Yaoyu struggles as she does not know who he is. She says Ran will drown if she does not go to help her, but he only continues to drag her to the surface. As she continues to struggle, she touches something on Jing and wonders if it is an eel as it moves around. As Jing finally drags Yaoyu to the surface of the water, he tells her to let go. Instead, she asks him who he is, and what is she to let go of. He furiously tells her again to let go, and she then realizes that she is not holding an eel, but rather Jing's thing. Feeling embarrassed, Yaoyu fakes a faint and Jing carries her. This makes Mo Lai angry, as it is known that Jing is a notorious germaphobe. No girl has ever dared to move close to him in years, and yet he is carrying Yaoyu. Yaoyu is carried to her room where Yuer watches over her. After a while, Jing, who is also in the room, asks her how long she is going to pretend. She continues faking she is unconscious, and Jing says he has a poison if she really wants to die. Yaoyu instantly sits up saying she is awake, and Jing's guard enters the room and hands over a scroll to him. Jing tells Yaoyu it is an order from the Emperor, and he throws the scroll at her. Jing's guard tells her, that it is in order for the engagement between her and Xiang, and the ceremony will be held in 3 days. Yao Yu reasons that she does not want to stay at her father's house and play house with her sisters. But once she gets married, she will have to play house with some other designing people. She then decides that she needs Jing to get her out of the house, and she will figure out the rest later. As Jing turns to leave her room, she hangs on his arms. She tells him she has always been bullied in the house, and she cries out that he can't leave her there. Jing tells her to get off him, which makes his guard shocked that he did not push her away. Yao Yu insists that she will knock herself dead at his legs if he does not help her. Jing tries to push her away, saying she should get lost, but as she is about to fall, he grabs her close, and they both stare into each other's eyes. Yao Yu and Yuer accompany Jing to his residence. As they get there, Yao Yu is impressed at the building. She looks at Jing and laughs secretly that her relentlessness worked on him. Jing asks his guard, whose name is Wusheng, what he thinks of Yao Yu. Wusheng says Yao Yu seems like a different person compared to her usual self, but he has not found out what she is up to yet. Jing tells Wusheng to take her to the south place and get someone to keep an eye on her. He then turns to leave, wondering if he would like to see what she is up to. Wusheng goes to Yao Yu and tells her Jing asked him to take her to her room. She turns to talk to Jing, only to find out he has left. She asks Wusheng about his whereabouts, and he informs her Jing is highly sensitive to germs and he has gone to bath. Wusheng takes Yao Yu to her room. She thanks him and enters the room before realizing that Yuer is not with her. She starts looking for her, wondering if she is lost. 15 minutes later, Yao Yu is still searching for Yuer, but she is now lost too. She sees Yuer entering a room and follows her into the room, calling her name. Jing is taking his bath when Yao Yu enters the room looking for Yuer. He wonders if she is making her move so quickly, and dresses up. He stops Yao Yu, who starts blushing as she sees him. He pins her to the ground and asks her if she got a good look at him. She looks astonished as he asks her who sent her. She wonders if she is a killer, and yet he got her pinned down. She apologizes, saying she is looking for her maid. Wusheng enters the room, surprised to catch them in that compromising position. He quickly bows his head and announces that Xiang is around. Jing stands and tells Yao Yu she needs to play by his rules as she is now in his residence. He then tells Wusheng to take her to see Xiang. Wusheng agrees to take her there, but he asks Jing if he should help him dress up. Jing refuses, which makes Yao Yu suspicious. She realizes that Jing does not have a maid to help him bathe or change in his residence. She wonders if the rumors that Jing is gay are true. She imagines a situation where Jing tells Wusheng some random girl cannot compete with the bond they have developed since they were kids. Wusheng notices Yao Yu staring at him, and he wonders why. Meanwhile, she is actually cheering for him. On their way to meet Xiang, Yao Yu overhears a voice in the bush and quickly sneaks there to listen. Wusheng follows her and asks her what she is doing. She tells him to be quiet as she is watching in action how to do it outdoors. They both peep and see a man and a lady making out. The man realizes someone is watching them and throws a stone towards them. Yao Yu shifts backward to avoid the stone, and she slams into Jing. The couple making out turns out to be Xiang and a maid, who is scared to be caught. They all greet themselves, and Xiang explains that he is there to pass on a message from Her Imperial Highness the Empress, and she wants Jing to deliver the white cat Fusang authorities gifted to the palace. Xiang then faces Yao Yu and asks her why she is at Jing's residence instead of waiting at home for their wedding, as he is sure his brother will find her a nuisance. Yao Yu tells him she is fine and Jing's residence is a wonderful place, except for a couple of naughty maids. The maid quickly bows and apologizes to everyone. This makes Xiang angry, but Jing interferes and tells him he can have his maid if he wants. He then says he had promised Yao Yu that she can stay in his place until General Mo returns to the capital. Xiang leaves and Yao Yu tells Jing not to get upset over Xiang's indiscretion with the maid. She says he is much better looking than Xiang, but it will be a different story if he is not gay. Jing drags her to his side and asks if she wants to try it. Yao Yu breaks free from Jing's hold. She says she knows he is incredibly handsome and talented. so there is no way he is gay, but she reasons that he is not only gay but a super closeted gay. There is no need for him to hide. Suddenly, a cat rubs itself on Yaoyu, and she bends to pet it. In a weird way, she wonders if the neighborhood kids would drool if she breaded the cat with crumbs and fried it in a pan until both sides are golden. Jing tells her the cat is the Empress's pet. The cat looks at him and quickly jumps on Yaoyu's shoulder in fear. She pets the cat to help it relax, and Jing turns away in annoyance, saying she can take the cat, whose name is Snow, to the palace the next day. Yaoyu agrees, as she will finally get a chance to see the real harem and to see if she can get her engagement repealed. The next day, Yaoyu and Jing arrive at the palace at Xuan Hall. They meet the Empress, who is Jing's mother. As she bows to greet the Empress, Yaoyu sneaks a peek at her, and she is amazed at the Empress's beauty. Jing delivers the cat and says he is about to leave, but the Empress stops him, saying he should sit with her and have some Longjing tea that the Qingtun temple just sent. He agrees and sits with him, but Yaoyu gets a weird feeling that the Empress is funnily looking at Jing. As a maid serves the tea, Yaoyu tries to pick up a cup on her left side, but Jing slaps her hand away, saying her tea is on her right side and she should not violate the etiquette of the palace. As Jing sips his tea, the Empress tells the maid to take Yaoyu on a tour of the Imperial garden. Yaoyu stands to leave, but she wonders if the Empress is sending her off so she can stay alone with Jing. She stares at Jing, who seems uncomfortable. She then realizes that the Empress has probably put something in his teeth. Yaoyu is wondering what to do when she sees a peach blossom and remembers that the owner of the body is allergic to peach blossom. She complains that her head is spinning and falls to the ground, making sure that her body comes in contact with the flower. Jing quickly picks her up and says she must have accidentally inhaled the peach blossom pollen. He requests permission from the Empress to take Yaoyu away from the place and turns to leave, making the Empress furious at Yaoyu for ruining things for her. Jing carries Yaoyu to his carriage and tells Wushing to take them to his residence. On their way there, Jing starts coughing, and Yaoyu, who is now awake, asks him if he is all right. She tries to touch him as she is worried, but he pushes her away and tells her to stay away from him, reasoning that the Empress must have given him an aphrodisiac. Yaoyu is angry that he pushed her away when she was the one that actually helped him. The carriage wheels suddenly hit a stone and shake, which makes her tumble and fall on Jing, and they kiss. Yaoyu and Jing quickly separate, and she tells him it was purely an accident. She remembers he was drugged with an aphrodisiac and decides to slip out of the carriage. She tells him she wants to go buy some cake and she will return to the mansion herself. Outside the carriage, she tells Wushing to hurry and go see Jing as he has been poisoned. Wushing hastily rushes into the carriage to attend to the prince, while Yaoyu runs off, imagining Jing and Wushing having a nice time. Meanwhile, Jing is actually telling Wushing to call someone to take him to the mansion, and he should follow Yaoyu to see what she is up to. In a market, Yaoyu reasons that for her to survive in the period, she needs to understand how the period works, and the best way to do that is by shopping. She remembers her wedding will be held the next day and wonders if she will have a chance to go outside after that. She wonders if she should just run away, and she bumps into a man. The man apologizes and asks if she is hurt. Yaoyu feels the man is a stalker, and she tells him she is fine as he only bumped into her, and it is not like she will get pregnant. As she leaves, the man wonders if all of Mingyu's people speak in such a brazen and fierce manner. He decides to ask Helian Yi when he sees him. Yaoyu continues walking around the market humming a song. She notices some people are stalking her, and she reasons that she will let them get close to her so they will never return after she shows them the skills of a real assassin. The group of assassins attacks her, but she easily deflects their attacks. She is about to punch back when Wushing arrives, and she immediately switches to victim mode and falls to the ground crying for help. Wushing easily kills the assassins. One tries to sneak an attack, but Yaoyu steps on his neck and kills him. She pulls down his mask to see if she recognizes him, and she remembers seeing one of her sisters give the man money. Suddenly, she screams out in pain as a raging headache hits her. She finds herself in a strange place, and the ghost of the real Yaoyu appears to her. She tells her that her sister, Mo Ran, not only got together with Xiang but also tried to kill her. The ghost tells her to kill Ran and take revenge for her, or else she will take back her body and turn her into a wandering ghost. Yao Yu agrees to do the ghost's bidding while wondering that everyone who gets transported to another world lives great lives and gets to be shameless, while she has to fight the original host for the body. The ghost tells her to remember her promise and gives her the shadow token, saying it might be helpful to her. The ghost disappears and Yao Yu becomes alright. Wushing asks if she is okay, and she tells him her head does not hurt her anymore. She stares at the shadow token in her hand, but she does not know how to use it. She asks him how he found her, and he explains that she has to enter the palace to attend the banquet the next day. Jing thinks something might happen to her, so he ordered him to secretly protect her. Yao Yu asks what the banquet is about. He tells her it is to celebrate the return of General Mo Sheng, and the emperor specially hosted a banquet and invited hundreds of officials and their families. She decides to take the opportunity of the banquet to clean up her mess. The next day at the banquet, Mo Ran tells her father, General Mo, that during the time he was at the border, Yao Yu became more barbaric. He asks her what happened, and she says Yao Yu stayed for several days at Prince Jing's residence and did not think to come home. With a fake concerned face, she says if rumors are spread, the dignity of their family will be tarnished. Yao Yu arrives in a beautiful outfit and asks them what they are talking about. General Mo asks her if she has been at Prince Jing's residence, and she tells him that Mo Ran accidentally pushed her into the lotus pond, which caused her to be badly injured. Prince Jing saved her, and coincidentally, he had an Imperial doctor at his residence, so she stayed there for a couple of nights to rest and heal. General Mo stares hard at Ran, and to cover up, she says Yao Yu wanted to poison her, but it was noticed by Xiang. She then ate the poison and tried to commit suicide to avoid punishment. As Yao Yu reasons that Ran's ability to make a comeback is great, Ran goes on to say the servants ordered to bring Yao Yu to the clinic were unable to carry her, and she accidentally fell into the lotus pond. General Mo turns his hard stare on Yao Yu, making her wonder if he really believed what Ran said. She then asks if the servants are dead or alive, as she feels they should be locked up and interrogated. She says if they are truly that useless, they should be thrown out of the residence after flogging them 50 times. She then says she is scared that someone intentionally ordered them. General Mo orders both girls to stop their bickering. He tells Yao Yu not to cause any trouble, which makes her confirm that he does not look at the original Yao Yu favorably. Prince Xiang arrives and tells General Mo the banquet is about to start. Yao Yu holds her father's hand and asks to go with him. As they leave, Xiang touches Ran, and they smile at each other. He then leaves, and Ran says to herself that Yao Yu should not be too proud, as she might not be able to laugh about it later. As Yao Yu and her father arrive at the banquet, she sees Prince Jing and rushes over to his side. She praises him, saying he looks brilliant, handsome, and very earnest. He tells her to say whatever she has to say, and she admits that she wants to ask for his help with something. Xiang watches as Yao Yu whispers into Jing's ears, and with annoyance, he reasons that she was willing to die for him a few days ago, but she is now flirting with others. The emperor arrives with his daughter Princess Helian Yaor, who has heard about how Yao Yu has been pestering her brother. Ran tells the princess that Yao Yu is stupid and not satisfied with her engagement with Xiang, which is why she has been going to Jing's residence. Princess Yaor tells the emperor she would like to dance in order to cheer everyone up. She says she heard Yao Yu is renowned for dancing, but she does not know if Yao Yu will be willing to dance the phoenix in flight with her. Yao Yu is surprised, as she knows the princess only wants to make a fool of her. She wonders what she did to provoke the princess, and the emperor asks her if there are any difficulties. Yao Yu kneels before the emperor and says to be able to dance with the princess is her fortune, but the dance is too difficult. She says she does not want to replace the dance, but if her phoenix in flight dance can please the emperor, she wants him to fulfill one of her wishes. General Mo quickly steps forward and apologizes to the emperor, saying his daughter does not know etiquette. The emperor says there is no problem, as he finds it very interesting. Yao Yu tells Wusheng she wants him to help her with something. Meanwhile, Ran watches her and smiles evilly as she is tampered with the footsteps. The dancer has to climb to remove the phoenix on top of the flower. Princess Yaor starts the phoenix in flight alone, and everyone wonders if Yao Yu has slipped away to save face from failing the dance. Yao Yu suddenly arrives in another outfit, dancing on a higher column than Yaor. She says there is a beauty that once seen can never be forgotten, and even one day of absence would make a man crazy. She lands beside the princess, who fumes that Yao Yu is not performing the phoenix in flight dance. She decides to show her the dance, but she steps on the footstep that Ran had tampered with, and she falls. Yao Yu catches her in time, and with a wink, she says the phoenix soars to beseech the winds of the four seas, searching helplessly for the beauty not present on the east wall. The audience claps for her amazing performance, and the emperor comments that she danced well, but she did not perform the phoenix in flight dance. Yao Yu says the beautiful appearance of the princess made her unable to control herself, and that is why she created some new steps on the spot. Yao Yu then says, just like the verse inscribed on the handkerchief that Prince Jing gave Ran, the phoenix circles the sky, looking only for a good couple. As Yang starts sweating in shock, Yao Yu continues to say it is a pity that her love was never returned, and nothing in the world makes her more sad than that. The emperor faces the now fidgeting Xiang and asks him if what she said is true. Xiang tells the emperor that he and Ran are innocent, and Yao Yu must have made a mistake. Yao Yu steps forward and brings out a handkerchief imprinted with a phoenix pursuit verse. She then points out that she also caught Xiang being intimate with a maid at Jing's residence. Xiang yells at Yao Yu to stop talking, while Ran wonders how the handkerchief got into Yao Yu's hands. She remembers a maid bumping into her and realizes that was when the handkerchief was taken from her. The emperor asks to see the handkerchief, and Xiang kneels before him saying he was not purposely going against his decree, but he and Ran truly love each other. The emperor asks Yao Yu what she thinks about the issue. Yao Yu says she believes Xiang once had true feelings for her, shedding fake tears. Yao Yu says she is willing to fulfill the prince and Ran's feelings. The emperor asks Jing what he thinks of the issue, and he says since Xiang has someone else in his heart, he should unite them. The emperor relents and says it seems he was wrong in his matchmaking. He then says he takes back his decree, but as punishment, Xiang shall be forbidden from leaving his residence for 3 months unless there are orders otherwise. The emperor leaves the banquet with General Mo saying he still has some things to discuss with him. The empress follows them and stares at Yao Yu, wondering what tricks she has up her sleeves. Yao Yu also remembers the empress giving Jing an aphrodisiac and wonders if the empress wants to be in a relationship with someone younger. Jing stops beside Yao Yu, who is still kneeling. He asks her if the ground is warm and extends his hand to help her get up, which makes her blush. Yao Yu stands hastily thanking the prince and saying she can stand up herself. She thanks Jing for his help and says she will definitely repay his great act of kindness. It turns out that when Yao Yu tells Jing she wants his help, she tells him she will ask the emperor to cancel her betrayal with Xiang. She asked him if he can put in some nice words for her. Jing pushes her away and refuses to help her. Back to the present. Jing tells Yao Yu she is overthinking it as he dealt with Xiang because he dared to touch the maid at his residence. Yao Yu agrees with him, saying he is wise and valiant and will never do anything meaningless. She then asks him if she can consult him on a matter in private, and leads him to a corner. Ran, who has been watching them, fumes as some ladies talk about the handkerchief Xiang gave her. They say it must be one of her schemes, as it is a known fact that Yao Yu and Xiang were betrothed. But she still embroidered the handkerchief to seduce her younger sister husband. They call Ran shameless, making her feel bad. Jing asks Yao Yu what she wants to tell him. She says she hears he is familiar with the Zhonghu temple, so she wants to ask him if he has heard of the shadows. But Ran interrupts her, saying she has been searching for her for a while now. Jing leaves to give them privacy. Ran asks Yao Yu if she would like to accompany her to the pavilion for a chat. Yao Yu refuses, saying she does not want to go with Ran and would rather watch the fireworks. She steps backward, but slams into Xiang, who says the fireworks can also be seen at the pavilion. Yao Yu reasons that she has a wolf in the front and a tiger in the back, and she decides to go with them to know what they are hiding. Xiang tells a servant not to let anyone near the pavilion as he will be watching the fireworks there, and he follows the sisters to the pavilion. At the pavilion, Ran serves Yao Yu tea and thanks her for helping her and Xiang get together. Yao Yu accepts the tea, wondering if there is something strange about the tea, and there is no one around the pavilion, which means her sister and Xiang have planned to get rid of her quietly. She tells Ran that a bug went into her tea, so they should switch cups. Ran hastily refuses, which makes Yao Yu confirm that there is really something wrong with the tea. Ran tells Yao Yu that the tea will not taste good if it gets cold. Yao Yu tricks Ran and Xiang, saying the emperor is close by. As they both turn to check, she hits a tree with a stone and the leaves fall. Xiang and Ran turn to shield their eyes from the leaves, and Yao Yu takes the opportunity to switch her cup with Ran's. She apologizes to them that she must have seen something else. She then comments that Xiang and her sister are really close, and they can definitely hold hands together forever. Yao Yu drinks the tea and Ran and Xiang smile at each other. Ran then drinks the poison tea and asks Yao Yu how she got the handkerchief. Yao Yu says Ran gave it to her to let her know she should back off. This makes Ran angry as she knows she did not give Yao Yu the handkerchief. She yells at Yao Yu to stop slandering her, as she is not the type of woman who does not understand the difference between right and wrong. She asks how Yao Yu became smart overnight, and even her personality is totally different. She asks Yao Yu who she is, but Yao Yu only smiles as she stands. She says Ran probably got confused from drinking tea. She turns to leave, but Xiang grabs her hand to stop her, saying she cannot leave yet. Suddenly, Ran falls, saying her chest hurts. Yao Yu removes her hand from Xiang's grasp and tells him to check on his lover. He brings out a knife to hurt her, saying she hurt Ran, and then commits suicide to avoid punishment. Yao Yu hits his hand and the knife falls. He wonders when she got so skilled in martial arts. But Yao Yu suddenly touches his face and asks him what he meant. She tells him not to blame others. Xiang starts sweating as he cannot move his body until Yao Yu throws him into the pond beside the pavilion. Yao Yu wonders how the original soul of the body possessed her and dominated her actions, and she realizes that the original soul is still in the body, and that is dangerous. She tries to leave the pavilion, but she suddenly feels weak. She realizes that the incense has poison, and she manages to leave the place before the guards arrive, but she no longer has any strength. Yao Yu slips to the ground as her eyes are now blurry. She sees someone approaching her and wonders who it is. It turns out to be Jing, who carries her to watch the fireworks. Still carrying her, he tells her he hates fireworks because they are fragile and perishable, and it looks like she is also vulnerable, which disappoints him. The others watching the fireworks notice Jing carrying Yao Yu, and they wonder if there is anything between them. This makes them angry. While Yao Yu opens her eyes to stare at Jing, she reasons that he speaks coldly and harshly, but his heart is beating so loudly.